Hi, sorry for the interruption, but this could be something you need to hear. If you felt even a tiny knot in your stomach about AI and your child's future, you're not alone. A lot of parents are wondering the same thing. Will my child be ready for this world? Will school prepare them? Will AI replace opportunity or create it? That's exactly why I've created a new 9 video series for parents. It's calm, practical, family focused, no panic, no jargon soup, no pretending everyone needs to become a software engineer by next Tuesday. Just clear guidance for parents who want their children to grow up confident, adaptable, and ready.
Welcome back, everyone. Today's a special one. I want to tell you why I built the Financial Adventure Club. Not the marketing version, the real one. Because the real version, it starts with a classroom and a 9-year-old and a question that this child asked that I did not have a good answer to at the time, and it was the perfect catalyst for me. The question was, Mr. Joyce, why don't they teach us about money at school? And I remember standing there and thinking, that is exactly the right question. And I can't give you the answer it deserves because the curriculum doesn't give me time to. That question sparked my passion to put in 2,000 hours over the last 22 months. It's June 2026 for those who are watching in the future. To bring the Financial Adventure Club to the world, 2,000 hours of writing stories, learning how to code, developing games for the platform, designing the user interface for the dashboards. I consulted with IT professionals who quoted from $30,000 to $110,000 to build my vision. It has been a labor of love, commitment, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why I made that sacrifice. 8 years before launching the Financial Adventure Club 3 months ago, it was 2019, and I started to run a classroom economy. Honestly though, it wasn't my idea. I thought it was great. The previous teacher of my classroom had established the foundation that I built on, and it proved to be the most effective behavior management tool I've ever employed in a classroom. Every year, we ran a school fete. Leveraging my business experience, I taught students how to build companies, assigned salaried roles, and they pay 20% tax on their income every Friday. They opened bank accounts, paid rent for their desks if they haven't bought them, earned wages, participate in daily auctions, and track the chair market, not the share market, the chair market, and launched real businesses. Now more than 104 real businesses across 8 years. I've watched 500 children interact with real financial stakes. Let's go back even further. In 2017, I was introduced to investing through my first purchase of Bitcoin. I have some autistic tendencies, maybe ADD or something, undiagnosed. I can get obsessed, and with attention to detail, that led me down a rabbit hole, out of which I've emerged with a comprehensive understanding of financial literacy that I did not have before. As I've learned, I've applied it to my teaching and the classroom economy. During this time, my own boys finished university, one after another. Neither had the financial education that I was now passing on to my students. Neither had savings. The first one finished with an audio engineering degree during COVID. No jobs available to gain experience. He's continued making music, sharing it online, and growing a following that is now, after 10 years, earning him a few $100s a month. He's become a teacher, running the media department of a high school and teaching English. My youngest graduated with honors in mathematics into the onset of AI just last year and has had great difficulty finding his first job. He's done research into quantum computing, but that was contract work to support PhD students. Willing to do anything, he hasn't found work. He has some savings, but no investments compounding for him. How will either of my children one day afford a house when saving for a deposit can't be done faster than the deposit needed grows? Currently, the average age of first home buyers is 38 years old, and it takes 2 incomes. I can't predict the future, but I can see that wages, they're not keeping up with asset prices, and that makes it even harder. What 20-year-old wants to save for 20 years just to buy a house when they can rent, and if their salary allows, they travel with the excess? That's forcing them to live for now, rather than planning for the future. So I feel a real need. A need to provide the education I, or we as parents, didn't get while we were growing up. The education that the rich share with their kids, that working class don't even know to share. What I've learned from the classroom as a professional educator, I'm now sharing with you. The techniques that are embedded in the Financial Adventure Club are evidence-based, they're best practice in the world for transferring and solidifying a foundation of financial literacy for this and future generations. I know not everyone will offer it to their children. That's what separates the haves from the have-nots. Choice. Moving forward into a rapidly changing societal and economic landscape, those with the supportive habits, values, and beliefs founded on solid ground will thrive as the gap between the rich and the middle class widens, and it will. Where do you want your kids to be? What will be their financial destiny? Applying my teaching in the classroom, what I've observed was not what I expected. You might expect that the children who were best at maths would thrive. They didn't, necessarily. I expected the children from financially comfortable families to thrive. They didn't necessarily either. The children who thrived were the ones who understood themselves, who knew their own tendencies, who had someone at home, a parent, a grandparent, an uncle, who talked and listened to them about money and other things, honestly. The children who went home and discussed their experiences at the dinner table changed their and their family's paradigm. And the children who struggled were almost always the ones for whom money was either invisible or taboo. Families where it was never discussed, or where it was discussed only in crisis. We can't afford that. Don't ask for things. No framework, no vocabulary, no permission to think about it clearly. The children who thrived had someone at home who talked about money and was interested in them. The children who struggled had no framework, no vocabulary, no permission. The gap that no one was filling. I spent 8 years watching this, and I spent a few of those years thinking about why it wasn't being solved. I was feeling proud of what I was accomplishing for the kids in my school, but then I realized that was misplaced pride. There is no shortage of financial literacy curriculum. There are worksheets, there's apps attached to banks. There are courses in trading and investing. There are very good resources for adults who are already financially motivated. What I could not find was what I knew works. Teaching through story. Real characters making real decisions. Connecting learning to reality. Children seeing what they are learning is useful. The way that I teach in the classroom. Why I was runner-up Teacher of the Year in Western Australia. What I was creating was a financial identity framework that let a child see themselves, not an instruction set that they were supposed to follow. What's needed is a parent layer that gives families language for the conversations that matter, and a layered on game mechanic that makes the whole thing feel like something a child would choose, not something they were told to do. And so I built it. Not because I had the technical skills, or the marketing experience, or the platform knowledge. I have none of those things. 2,000 hours. I built it because I had 500 children's worth of experience and evidence for what works and what doesn't. And I've watched the system do nothing, despite a need being identified in research worldwide. I need to be direct about why this is important. No, urgent. The financial complexity of the world children are entering is accelerating faster than any parent is prepared for. Digital payments, buy now, pay later schemes available even to teenagers, investment apps with no minimum balance, cryptocurrency in playground conversations at year 6, AI agents making purchasing decisions on our behalf. The decisions that children will face in their late teens and early 20s are more complex than the ones you as parents faced at the same age. And the consequences of getting them wrong are more immediate and long-lasting. The research is clear. Financial habits and attitudes are formed by age 7. From 9 to 12, children can rewire with support from family and peers. I've seen that firsthand. The window to shape them is childhood. The people best placed to shape them are you, parents. And parents, even parents who are financially capable themselves, often lack the vocabulary or the structure or the time or the confidence to have the conversations that actually change things. That is what the Financial Adventure Club is designed to give you. Not a curriculum, a companion, a story world that makes the concepts real, games that make habits daily, and support delayed gratification being not only normal, but rewarding. And a parent support layer that not only makes conversations feel possible, but supports the integration of your own family's beliefs and values at the same time. This is not glorifying money and wealth. It is enabling self-sufficiency, self-determination, and self-confidence within your own family's framework. It's not a curriculum. It's a companion. My invitation to you, every child deserves this. That's not a slogan. It's the reason when I get home in the evening from a full day of classroom, I do this work. It's the reason I get up early on a Saturday and do this work. I might have failed my own children through no fault of my own, but you don't have to fail yours. The tools are here. They are proven and they're affordable. In fact, can you afford not to join the club? The children who will be most financially capable as adults are not the ones who happen to come from financially literate families. They're the ones who had access to the right stories, the right habits, and the right conversations at the right age. If you've been watching this channel, if anything in the last 90 days has landed, then this is the video where I ask you directly, bring your child into the club. Not because it will make them wealthy, because it will give them something more durable than wealth. The capability to direct their own financial life on their terms, in line with what they actually care about, without needing anyone to rescue them when it gets hard. That is what every child deserves. And that is why I built this. Question for you. Was there a moment, a question your child asked, or a conversation you had, or something you noticed that made you realize financial education was something you needed to be more deliberate about? I honestly want to know what that moment was. Drop it in the comments below. Join our Facebook community and continue the conversation. The link is in the description below. See you in the club, the Financial Adventure Club.